Welcome back with a smiling face. Links to previous episodes are given in the video description, so don't forget to like, subscribe and share the video. Secrets of the Fallen Heart. Episode 11. Chapter 73. Under the hot water, I can finally close my eyes and stop thinking. This argument with Clark has left me exhausted. I'm sad, disappointed and lost. And somewhat angry, too. How do they all dare decide on things for me? Isn't it my life? They never bothered to ask what I wanted. I do not care about being a royal, I was only happy to find out I have a blood relative still alive. Elena? I almost jump at Nora's voice. I will never get used to that thing, our mind link is so clear she could be standing next to me. Nora. What is it? Too lazy to use the phone now. I grab my bathrobe and put my hair in a towel while she answers. I'm showering. Plus, Nate is right next door. You still don't want the brothers to know we know each other, right? How funny we were doing the exact same thing. Did she know somehow? Is that why she thought of contacting me at the same time? Now that she said it and I'm focusing, I can almost feel the water running. I remember her question and shake my head. No, no. Are you all right, Nora? Your wolf seems all shaken up. A lot of things happened. Someone broke into my place, I mean, the apartment Damien arranged for me. What? Are you all right? I ask, worried. I exit the bathroom, to find Daniel and Levi discussing, but I ignore them and head to the kitchen to make myself some hot water with lemon while Nora keeps talking. I'm fine, I was at work. But Damien is completely furious. Whoever did it left some sort of threat, he has the whole pack looking for the culprit. I'm with him right now, and Nate and Liam too. I bet he is. The king seems totally overprotective of Nora, but now that something like this has happened. Who could have done it? Is it the same person who was watching me? Or the one who assaulted her when they found her? Anyone who wanted to piss off the king could go after Nora, but this seems personal. Any suspects? I ask. We have some. But anyway, I'm fine. I wanted to tell you something else. You know, about the royal blood? The results came in, Elena. I'm 80% a royal. That's a whole lot. I mean, not that much of a surprise, but still. Nora, that's a lot of information. I'm not so surprised about the blood results, to be honest, I always knew you were more. Well, more royal than I am. But what happened at your place? That's really no good. I know, I'm totally freaked out too, though I don't want to worry Damien. I understand. But stay close to your mate, until they found this psychopath, okay? And you can talk to me if you need help, anytime. I can't help but worry about her. She is going to be a target now that they are together for real. Thank you, cousin. I chuckle. Cousin? I don't really like it. Let's call each other sisters instead. I've already been calling her like that in my head for a while now, though I don't want to admit it. It sounds a bit too cheesy. Sister? I like that. All right. I'm still the older sister, though. I'm fine with having an older sister. Anyway, Elena, how are you and? I sigh. Nowhere. I'm still stuck at home and Nathaniel stuck at the Blood Moon clan. I try to change the topic instead. How about you and the king instead? You didn't even tell me how you made up. Oh. Well, we discussed it, and sorted our differences. I can feel she's blushing and acting all shy. My gosh, Nora is so freaking cute at times. So, all good? I guess. He will cancel the engagement and announce me as his mate. Way to go, girl. Nora, I'm happy for you. And jealous, too. Nora doesn't have a whole clan holding her back from announcing her relationship to the world. I wish I could say the same. Suddenly, the mind link is cut, and I can tell she's talking to someone else. She probably isn't alone. I finish preparing my drink and go back to the salon, where the boys are waiting for me, both visibly upset. Clark left, says Danny, stating the obvious. He said he's sorry, Elena. Also, he will talk to the elders, see if he can't do anything. I think he's really regretting what he said and did. I nod to Levi's words, but I don't have anything to add. This stupid fight has exhausted me, for real. The brothers exchange a look, unsure until Daniel asks. Okay, babe, so what's next? Under the hot water, I can finally close my eyes and stop thinking. For now, I'll wait and see until Clark officially kicks me out. I am not changing my mind. As soon as I can leave this house and walk without risking my baby's life, I'm talking to Nathaniel. And Regan? Asks Levi. I think for a second. Sylviana said Regan was back on the territory, and it's high time we have a good talk. I take a deep breath and focus on my wolf to find her. Regan may be good at ignoring me, but she's from my pack too, from the Blue Moon. She can't hide forever or shut out my voice. Regan, we need to talk. Leave me alone, kid. I got bigger fishes too. More important than the Blue Moon clan? I hear a long silence, and she stops answering. I feel she's on the move. Is she finally coming? I can tell our mind link is thin, she is probably still far up in the North Forest. After a long while, several hours later actually, we finally hear some loud knocking on the door. How far was she? I exchange a look with Daniel, who goes to open. How did you hear that name? Asks Regan, visibly shocked and sweating. Why would I tell you? Do you ever tell me anything? I reply back, pissed. She growls. Don't play with me, kid. Even Clark doesn't know of that name, so how? Daniel hands her the tests he did on Nora's blood and mine, showing both her name and our results. Regan stays speechless, staring at the document as if she's seen a ghost. She's really alive. You knew about her? Asks Daniel, surprised. Regan shakes her head. I figured there might be another, but you thought she might have died with everyone else. I finish for her. Regan slowly nods, and lets herself fall on one of the stools, still visibly shaken. I don't think I've ever seen her like that. My old mentor's almost about to cry. Regan! I need to know. No, Elena, you don't know what that means. If she's alive, the royal line survived, right? She turns to me, shocked again. Then, she frowns, split between anger and defiance. How much do you know? A lot, actually. About Queen Diane, and the Blue Moon clan. Nora and I are her relatives, right? I mean, if you know Nora is a royal, you know who our parents were. I will find the answers, Regan, I have to know. Clark said you told him of my royal blood, but I am not a royal, right? Why am I different from Nora? How do you even know about Queen Diane? Shouts Regan, Furious. I had to dig the answers, Regan, since you won't talk. Why can't I know about her? She was my family, wasn't she? What was so secret about Queen Diane that you can't tell us? Because she was a pure royal. Regan keeps shaking her head, horrified. Elena, shut up. Don't you get it? This is how your parents got killed. What? I exchange a look with Daniel, taken by surprise. Regan looks like the world is about to end, and that's really not good coming from her. Danny insists I sit back on the couch, putting me at a good distance from my mentor, and turns to her. Regan, whether you like it or not, Elena has found out most of the truth. So I really suggest you start speaking now if anything else can put her in danger that she should know. The old she-wolf turns to me, her eyes suddenly looking very sad. She leaves out a long sigh. Elena, all right, I'll tell you. Just don't judge me too harshly. I frown. Why? Why would I judge her? It's true. The clan we were both born in was called the Blue Moon Clan. And Diane was at its head. Queen Diane. She was an incredible woman. Since she was born, we knew she was different from us. Our alphas had always been powerful, among the oldest, purest werewolf families. But Diane was different. Our people believed she was a reincarnation of the moon goddess herself, and honestly, I believed it too. She could do things that were like magic to us. I wonder if she didn't have witch blood or something. She could communication with any animal, not just wolves. She knew when disasters would happen, she was a seer. I even saw her heal dying people, and her aura was incredible. I keep thinking about Sylviana while Regan talks, but this is even different from what Danny's witch friend can do. I've never, ever heard about someone as powerful as that, even in our legends books. I mean, the royals were already pretty strong and incredible, but, this woman, as Regan said, was more on the goddess level. And from what Sylviana said, she was my grandmother. I ask, a bit unsure. Regan nods. Our clan prospered for as long as she was there. Very young, Queen Diane gave birth to twins. I have no idea who the father was. Either she didn't want to say it, or there wasn't any. I honestly don't care. If she said there wasn't, we all believed her and didn't ask. No father? This is crazy. More like she didn't want to reveal who it was. But now, I'm more interested in the twins than their father. I glance at the blood test. Nora and I are cousins, so those twins have to be. The twins' birth was a great deal in the pack. A boy and a girl, born on the full moon. She named them Lilian and Gabriel. Gabriel was your father. I feel my heart beat a bit faster in my chest. Gabriel. My father was Gabriel Blue Moon. I grab my necklace between my fingers. It was signed GG like Gabriel. Daniel puts a hand on my knee while Regan keeps talking, lost in her memories. He was the bravest fighter I've seen in my life. So strong, he could fight 10 wolves by himself. His sister Lilian was a gentle soul, so sweet. She used the healing power she had inherited from Queen Diane to help others, even injured people from other packs. Anyway, those two grew up happy and cherished, like blessed children. But Queen Diane knew their royal power would make them targets for dark forces like WHES or necromancers. Sylviana said so, too. That royals would be targeted. So, Queen Diane sent her younger sister, Queen Cynthia, to find somewhere else to settle, somewhere safe. She wanted somewhere where werewolves could help each other against any threats, and our clan wouldn't be by itself like it was at the time. Cynthia wasn't filled with the royal power like Queen Diane was, but she was very smart, a great leader too. So, she left, with a smaller portion of our pack. However, even after many years, she never returned. It broke Queen Diane's heart. What happened to her younger sister? Did she get killed? It doesn't sound like Cynthia had royal blood like Diane, though. Did she end up a victim anyway? Why would someone attack her? I can't even begin to imagine how heartbroken Queen Diane must have been. To lose her sister without knowing what happened to her. Or even if she was alive. How long did she wait for a sign, anything? So, as it became clear Cynthia wasn't coming back, Queen Diane was left alone to protect her children. She decided to confine our territory behind some magic barrier she made, with the help of a good WH, and forbade everyone from talking about their royal blood. I exchange a look with Daniel. A good WH? Sylviana wasn't even born at that time, but could she know which witch it was? It was to be kept a secret, to protect her children. We lived like that for many, many years. I kept going in and out to find Cynthia. Without luck. Life went on, and your father, Gabriel, was betrothed to another warrior she-wolf of the pack, while Lilian still dedicated her life to others. Things could have probably gone on like this forever, until one day, a young group of humans walked onto our territory, by mere chance. Wait, humans? How did they break the Witch and Queen Diane's barrier? Asks Danny, surprised. Because Queen Diane wanted to prevent any danger from intruding. But Lilian had convinced her to have this magic allow people who proved themselves harmless in. Those humans weren't a danger, they were totally harmless. Just a group of travelers, gypsies. The kind that didn't even know about werewolves' existence. What happened? I ask, a bit lost. How could a mere group of humans, apparently harmless, cause trouble? Reagan looks down, and I feel like she's holding back her tears. When she looks up again, it's at me. You happened. Your birth mother, Elena. She was one of them. Moon goddess. Wait. My mother was a human. Reagan nods. A simple human woman, her name was Althea. She points at the necklace around my neck. That necklace was hers. Your father gave it to her. The sunshine, whispers Daniel. Your mother was human, so she was a daughter of the sun, I finish. 74. I take a while to think about it. With my hands shaking, I undo my necklace, looking at the words engraved again. To my sunshine, G. For some reason, I always thought this memento, and that nickname were meant for me. Yet it never made sense. I am a daughter of Moon Goddess, a werewolf. I never imagined my mother could be any different. A lot of things make sense now, says Daniel. This is what Sylviana meant when she said you were shielding your baby and hiding her power. She, what? Whose baby? What are you talking about? Asks Reagan. Oh, right, she hadn't heard yet. She was probably away from the pack, and unsociable as she is, no way she heard the rumors. I'm pregnant, Reagan, I simply admit. She looks at me, completely stunned. What? But I thought, yeah, we thought it would be hard for Elena to conceive again, but it happened and it's confirmed, explains Daniel. Reagan looks at him, suspicious, then turns to me. Don't tell me you're having a kid with that shrimp. What? Ew. says Daniel. Are you crazy, old hag? Of course it's not Daniel's, Regan, I sigh. Then who? I exchange a look with Daniel. Well, Clark knows, and it is very likely that the rest of the pack soon will, so. As I said, no more hiding. Nathaniel Black. Regan frowns, but before she asks, I sigh and reply. Yes, the king's brother. I met him last summer, we hit it off, kept this relationship going, not seriously until recently, and now I'm pregnant. He doesn't know yet, adds Daniel. Clark asked Elena to consider her options. You are not aborting? Asked Regan, suddenly unhappy. I have no intention to, and I'm pretty sure it's too late anyway. Moreover, I'm already having a hard time keeping her as it is. What? What do you mean? Daniel takes over in explaining her everything again, on how we found out and what followed, including my almost miscarriage recently, how I have to rest. Somehow, he goes on to tell her how we found out about Nora and the Blue Moon clan, too. To our surprise, Regan doesn't seem very surprised to hear about Sylviana's existence. Queen Diane's friend was a good WH, too. Though she wasn't an Earth WH. But I know what kind of woman they are. The werewolves of Silver City aren't used to WHES, but the Blue Moon clan was. That's a bit surprising to hear, coming from Regan. What about the Dark WH, then? Do you think it could be? Regan nods. From the moment I heard about the vampire attack, I thought the same. Water attacking wolves. I don't see what else it could be. What does Sylviana think? Daniel frowns a bit as we exchange a look. Sylviana thought the same. She said that Dark Witch is most likely after Nora's power. And my baby? Regan sighs, looking at me, shaking her head. It's the same thing all over again. You didn't tell us why Nora and Elena were separated from their parents, notes Daniel. Regan looks down, looking a bit lost for a while. I try to help her resume her talking. You said my mother was among the humans that came to the clan. Her name was Althea. She was a very pretty and bright woman. You look a lot like her, actually. She had honey blonde hair, dark skin, and brown eyes. But you have Gabriel's eyes. Your father's eyes were golden. Not blue. I ask, a bit surprised. For some reason, I figured both twins would have the royals' blue eyes, but Regan shakes her head. No. Only Lillian inherited Queen Diane's blue eyes. For some reason, your father's were gold. But Queen Diane's father had gold eyes too, so maybe it's a female thing. I take a while to think about it. With my hands shaking, I undo my necklace, looking at the words engraved again. To my sunshine, G. It feels good to finally hear about my parents. What they looked like, what kind of people they were. It's like my own story is being completed, filling those holes I've been feeling my whole life. Althea was a dancer. She was young when we met her. Your father felt she was his mate right away. She was human, so she had no idea what that meant, but they fell in love anyway. My parents were fated mates. Yes, nods Regan. And very in love. Your father broke his engagement to be with Althea. She was younger, so they decided to wait a couple of years before getting married. Her family was supposed to leave, too. It took her a while to make up her mind, but she couldn't leave your father, so she parted with her group and stayed among us. Not too long after, she got pregnant with you. What about Nora's mom? I don't really know. She must have met her mate one of those times I was gone. After Althea's pregnancy was announced, I left our clan more and more often to find Cynthia's pack. I couldn't, you were the fiancé, weren't you? Daniel's sudden words surprise both of us. I turned to Regan. My father's fiancé? She mentioned a warrior she-wolf. Judging from Regan's reaction, Daniel is right. My gosh! Regan used to be engaged to my father? I never paid attention, but generation-wise, Regan could have been my mom, give or take a few years. And if Althea, I mean my mom, was younger than my dad, it makes sense. Yes. Gabriel was a wonderful man, and I admired his strength. We were childhood friends, and started dating. I won't get into the details. But yes, I was engaged and loved your father. When your mother came, and I understood he was leaving me, I was heartbroken. I didn't understand what a fated mate bound was, even less with a human, moon goddess. I'm feeling so sorry for Regan right now. I still vividly remember the pain I was in just when Nathaniel mentioned he had met his fated mate. I can't imagine what Regan went through. Falling in love, your happiness close to perfect when you're engaged, and all of a sudden, a woman appears and everything collapses. I know the said woman was my mom and wasn't to blame, but I kept leaving the clan, under the pretense of looking for Cynthia. Truth is, I was running away from the pain. Seeing your parents happy together made it feel worse every time I came back. I left for longer and longer periods of time. I would go further, trying to forget my pain and focus on something else. Even Queen Diane asked me to stop and relax, but I couldn't. I just wanted the whole pack to forget me. I was the poor girl Gabriel had thrown away for a human. Lilian was nice to me, though. She kept trying to console me, even introduced me to other men. I never really listened to her. I probably should have. I can't help but feel so sad when listening to her. No wonder Regan became so lonely and bitter. I see my mentor under a different light now. She was always that strong, fighting woman to me. I never realized she carried her own emotional baggage and some scars. This explains why she never wanted to talk about this past to me. I probably wouldn't feel like sharing my story with a child my ex conceived after leaving me for another, either. What happened, then? You made it sound like the attack was your fault, says Daniel. It was more complicated than that. We knew vampires' clans were watching us, but the barrier always kept them at bay. We thought they wouldn't attack our clan, big and powerful as it was. And we had a witch on our side, just that was enough to keep them at bay. Until, one day, I couldn't cross the barrier anymore. What? Regan nods, frowning. I don't know what changed. It just became impossible, it kept rejecting me. I thought. Maybe I had come to hate your mother too much, and that was why. Something just doesn't feel right about this. It was her own pack, they shouldn't have shut her out. What kind of barrier was it? Regan said it kept people with bad intentions out, but it doesn't seem like she fitted into that category. So you were shut out. It lasted for days and weeks. I didn't know what I had done wrong. I even left a few times, thinking it would be better if I calmed down. At some point, Lilian talked to her mother, asking her to put the barrier down and let me in. Queen Diane and Danica, the WH, were reluctant, though. That barrier had protected us for years, but they didn't they? Yes. Anytime I came back, they would temporarily take down the barrier for me. Is that how they were attacked, then? I ask. Now it makes sense. If they took the barrier down, that explains how the clan was wiped out even despite the Queen's efforts. Reagan sighs and nods. I believe so. It happened right after I had left, again. I had a big fight with Queen Diane, who was reluctant on letting me go. Once again, Lillian helped me convince her. They lifted the barrier for me to leave, and that was the last time I saw the clan alive. When I got back, the barrier was gone. And they were. She doesn't need to finish her sentence. I sigh. Reagan wasn't responsible, she just triggered things up, I guess. Whoever attacked them was probably lurking and waiting for a long time. So you don't know who did it? At first I thought it was vampires. From the fighting, many vampire bodies were left. But there was something odd. My mother was alive, I suddenly realize. Right. If it was a vampire attack, why would have my mom survived? Of all people, she was the only human. It doesn't make any sense. Exactly. As soon as I saw the first bodies, I aimed for the castle, where your family and Queen Diane should have been. The only person left was your mother's, and you. You were both alive, but your mom was badly injured. She managed to hide somehow, but she had been injured by some debris. She begged me to take you away. She made me swear to protect you and leave. She died right after I did. What about the others? Asks Danny. I never found their bodies. My guess is they might have been burned. Burned? The good witch that was on our side was a fire wh. There were burnt corpses in the castle when I got there, some of them that could very well have been your father, aunt, and grandmother. I spent a long time thinking about it. If the attack wasn't really the doing of vampires, a dark witch might have been behind it. Like the one we had here in Silver City. Exactly. And if she was after the royals, Danica, RWH, might have burned their bodies to keep her from using them against others. Danica's body was the only one I found. And if she didn't find what she wanted back then, because Danica burnt the royals' bodies, she might try somewhere else. Like Silver City, I whisper. That's why we were attacked. Nora is slowly unveiling her wolf's power, and that dark witch was probably waiting for such a thing to happen. If she is still looking for the royals, Nora's power must be attracting her to Silver City like a firework in the night sky. This vampire attack was probably only the beginning. Moon Goddess, and I am pregnant with another possible royal baby. 75. The next morning, after talking a lot with Reagan and Daniel, all three of us agree on the same thing. The truth about my parentage should remain a secret. It's all about protecting my child, now. According to Sylviana, my baby girl will be a royal, like Nora, and I'm going to protect her from whoever wants to harm her. She is still safe while she's in my womb, but in 5 months, it will be a different story. I'm happy I talked to Reagan, too. For the first time, I could finally thank her for taking me in and protecting me, like she promised my mom. I finally understood why she never told me the truth before. She had valid reasons. Thinking back, my mentor could have left me behind so many times, but she never did. She protected me, trained me until she made sure I would be safe on my own, and even so, she found me a good new pack and parents to be with. She got mad for my sake, and stayed around for me. When I tell her all that and how grateful I am, though, she's back to her old self, telling me to shut up. Let's go talk to your godfather, says Reagan. I'll let him know what I think about his stupid elders and their rules. This city is impossible as it is nowadays. So many packs, living together yet not allowing their werewolves to mix. So crazy. The peace is probably only because of the king, and the alliances between the packs, sighs Daniel. Yet, he's probably got this right. I can still vividly remember that feeling when the king was next to us. No wonder no one can stand up to him. I wonder if Nathaniel, and their younger brother Liam, are of the same material? Hard to tell. Those three are feared for good reasons for sure. I sigh. And one of those three monsters is my baby's father. How will he react when I tell him? It's so hard to tell. Anyway, babe's got a doctor appointment all day today, says Daniel. Let's have dinner with my family after that. My dad and Clark are close. Maybe he'll be able to convince him. The doctor's appointment is as long as Daniel said. Abigail insists on making me through a whole bunch of tests, but there's a good reason for all that. My baby is now officially stable, I'll be able to move around again without spending all day on the couch. I get a second echography and get to see my 13 weeks old baby girl once again. I try hard not to cry. She's moving and all, alive and kicking, even. I ask for pictures, wondering if it's okay to show Nate this next time I see him. Gosh, now I'll be able to go and tell him. I can't stop thinking about that at the dinner with the Lewis. I love Danny's family. They are all so happy for me about this pregnancy, regardless of who the father is. When we get back from dinner with Danny, walking as I insisted, it's a calm evening in the streets. Like always, the dinner at his parents' ended pretty late. Everyone around here must be busy preparing for Christmas. It's funny we celebrate it as werewolves too, but a lot of the families in our neighborhood are Hispanic, and very pious. I wonder if it's all right to be taking all this, I say, looking at the huge box Danny is carrying. Of course it is. Mom is overjoyed like she's going to be a grandma, you know. And me or my siblings don't use this anymore, anyway. I've always been a bit envious of Danny for having siblings. Levi, Rachel, the twins Ben and Bonnie, and Micah. They had some bickering while we were growing up, but all 6 of them got along, overall. I wonder if I will give a sibling to my baby girl, someday. It might not be easy, though. This pregnancy was already a miracle as it is. Babe, look. Danny suddenly grabs my hand, taking me to one of the narrow alleys. What's going on? But he puts a finger on his lips, telling to be silent, and that's when I realize. Someone's whispering nearby. Why would someone be whispering? We are so close to the border, too. Danny silently puts the box down, and we both lean to look secretly. What is my uncle doing with another man, at this time of the night, in secrecy? I try to focus, but I can't hear much. I turn to Danny. He's got a better ear than me. Who the heck is he talking with, anyway? I don't recognize the man. He's small, and probably around my uncle's age. He's got an alpha aura, though it's not much. Probably on Xavier's level. This is so suspicious, especially since they are alone. Suddenly, they both turn heads our direction. Danny and I hide, in time I hope. Let's get out of here, mimics Danny with his lips, and I nod. This can't be good. As quickly and silently as possible, we leave, both totally confused. What was that? We rush back to our apartment, when Danny leaves the box on our kitchen counter, still looking astonished. Danny, that man was King. The Gold Moon Alpha, Taran King. I'm sure of it, I've seen his face in business magazines, and he tried to buy our Opale Moon's clinic several times. Iris hates him, she's convinced her dad not to do so, but, you think that's what it was about? Daniel shakes his head, scratching his head with a confused expression on. Babe, I wish it was just about buying the clinic. But that's not what it looked like. I heard your king mention an alliance with your uncle several times. I didn't get the conversation in full, but it definitely looked like Xavier was interested. It's bad. Of course it's bad. Clark would never agree to an alliance with the Gold Moon clan. He said if we had to choose, it would be the Sapphire Moon clan. We still owe them so much. We don't interact with them, usually, but it's obvious they hate the Gold Moon. If we are caught in a war between those two clans, what is my uncle thinking? The Gold Moon clan, out of all people? Why would he agree to that? Is it money? Moon Goddess, we cannot do that. He will never convince Clark to ally the White Moon clan with them. No way. Is it about the Pale Moon clan then? Does he intend to have the branch pack betray the White Moon? This is crazy. Daniel and I keep discussing and trying to think on how to deal with this. There is no way to know what it was about exactly, or if my godfather is involved, which I highly doubt. The next morning, I'm up early, though we talked until very late in the night. I'm making myself some lemon tea, Daniel eating next to me. I should ask Nora for help. Daniel almost chokes on his croissant. Nora? Why would your cousin help? This is White Moon clan stuff. Don't be an I*T, Danny, this is bigger than our pack. If the Gold Moon is trying to rally the White Moon, either they are doing this in the back of the Blood Moon clan, or with their backup. But with Nora meddling with the king's engagement, I bet it is the first one. And this is no good to either her pack or mine. So, I shall ask Nora if she knows, to confirm. And if they don't, and Xavier is really out of his mind, I want to know Blood Moon instead of Clark and us. Daniel stays silent for a moment, thinking. Eventually, he nods and gets up to make himself more coffee. Okay, but we talk to Clark next. I bet Xavier is acting up in his back, and if we let the king know, we got to let our alpha know too. I nod and channel my inner wolf to contact Nora. As expected, no matter the distance, it's as easy as talking to Daniel who's next to me. Hey, Nora? Elena? What is it? We have to talk, fast. I think the Pale Moon clan is about to do something really, really stupid. What do you mean? You are not going to like it. Our alpha had a secret meeting with Taron King last night. I explained to her what we witnessed, and the current situation for us. She agrees it's no good at all. Damien definitely doesn't know, Elena. This is bad. Well, actually, there has been some good news too I need to tell you about. Do you remember about the Blue Moon clan? Yeah, I have some bit of news too. I tell her most of what Reagan said, except that I decide to leave my mentor's own story out of this. She's been through a lot already. And our parents were killed, though I don't know exactly by whom. We only have suppositions for now. But do you realize? Your mom's name was Lillian and my dad was Gabriel. Elena, I know all this. How did you find out? I frown, surprised. How did you find out? Nora, I learned all this only yesterday, how could you uncover so much? The Blue Moon clan. They're still alive. I mean, not the main clan, but... Do you remember about how Queen Cynthia left for the south and never came back? Yeah, she disappeared about 50 years ago? She ended here, Elena. The Sapphire Moon clan is Queen Cynthia's pack. They settled here, but never were able to reach out to Queen Diane until it was too late. They got so far in the south they lost contact, but they are here. William Blue, the Alpha of the Sapphire Moon, is our cousin too. Moon Goddess. I sit back on my chair, stunned. They are alive. A part of our family is alive. Moon Goddess, I never imagined. I turn to Daniel, still so shaken up I can barely believe it. Babe? You all right? I explained to him in a few words before reaching out to Nora again. Nora, are you sure? William Blue? William Blue, Elena. I talked to him, yesterday, he told me so much. I even saw a portrait of our grandmother, Queen Diane. She looks a lot like me, by the way. How about you? Nora, I learned about my mom too. Why I don't look like you, and why I'm not a real royal. My mom was human. Human? Oh Moon Goddess, it does explain a lot. That's why. Oh gosh, Elena. You have to meet with William, let him know about you. No. I screamed out loud too. Danny jumped and spilled his coffee. I whisper a sorry to him, before taking a deep breath in and talking to Nora again. Nora, I can't. For now. It's better very few people know about our link, okay? I'm in a bit of a situation. I want my real identity to stay as concealed as possible, please. I'm not saying I don't want to meet the Sapphire Moon but... I understand, Elena. It's about the baby, is it? Okay, how about you come here? I have an idea on how to protect everyone from this bad WH, but I'll need your help. And you need to talk to Nate too, right? He's missing you a lot. I take a deep breath. Going to the Blood Moon territory again? I have Nora and Nate's permission, and anyway, there's nothing more Clark can't blame me for now. Elena, can I tell Damien about us, at least? He's my mate, I don't want to hide things from him. Alright Nora, but, promise me you won't tell Nate. I need to talk to him myself. I promise. Come to Damien's building. You know which one, right? Yeah. I'll see you there. I take a deep breath and turn to Daniel, who's been waiting for me. I explain my conversation with Nora in detail, and he nods. I guess it's time, babe, hey. I nod. It's high time I tell Nate I'm pregnant with his daughter. I decide to go there as soon as I can. It's a bit intimidating, to be here after so long. To my surprise, it's not Nora who lets me in, but the King's Alpha, Boyan's older brother. Welcome, Miss Elena. My name is Neil Mura. I introduce myself, trying to remember when I've seen that guy before. The fight with the vampires. That guy was there, in his wolf form. His wolf is exactly like Boyan's and their sister Tanya's, only a tad smaller. He guides me all the way to the highest floors of the Black Corporation building. I'm invited to the King's private quarters. Is Nora living there with him now? It's not very cozy, all glass and metal, in shades of grey and black. Definitely intimidating, though. Once we get there, Nora welcomes me with a big hug. Elena. I missed you. So, I told Damien, as discussed, okay? Nathaniel should be here any minute, too. She calls him Nathaniel instead of Nate? I wonder what their relationship is. Isn't Nora working at one of his restaurants? I completely forget my questions when Damien Black appears behind Nora. Moon Goddess, I had forgotten about how imposing her mate's aura is. Especially staying in the same room as he is suffocating. Like a living storm, a dark cloud. How does Nora handle this? My cousin looks perfectly fine around him. Actually, she's even happier the closest she is to him. It's interesting to see how the pair interacts and reacts to each other. The king constantly has an eye on her. She is never out of his visual field, like a bodyguard. If she moves, he adjusts to her. Nora is never far from him, either, like he's her landmark or something. They sit together, they move together, they breathe together. Are they even aware of it? So, Nora, what was your idea? I ask, a bit anxious. We are in some large salon, Nora and the king standing in front of me. Gathering everyone, she says. All the packs, in one place, to discuss of a large alliance. No more little alliances between several packs and bickering between the others. I want to gather each alpha, each clan, and ask them to cooperate against this dark witch that's coming for us. Miss Nora argued that her royal blood and power might help convince everyone, says Neil. Her bound with the Sapphire Moon, Jade Moon, and you as well. I frown. My bond with her? Does she want me to interact as a spokesperson for the White Moon? Oh Moon Goddess, I am not really in the position for that, at the moment. I may convince Clark to show up, at best, but… Elena, trust me, I can do this. I want to, but just when she was about to finish her sentence, someone walks in. Nate. 76. At first, he doesn't notice me, greeting his brother, Nora, and the other people present. Boyan and Tanya walk in right after him, both saluting me. That's when his blue eyes fall on me, making my heart go crazy. Oh, Moon Goddess! He frowns a bit, surprised to see me there. Oh, right, he doesn't know about my relationship with Nora. He turns his head to his brother, looking worried for a second. But Damian Black is focused on Nora, as usual, only nodding to his brother's arrival. Nate finally walks up to me, looking uncertain. Elena, what are you? Nora called me here. Nora. She's my friend, says Nora, with a big smile. That's the most simple-minded explanation one could think of, and I see Nate give a glance in Boyan's direction too, trying to make sense out of it, but the huge wolf is just laying at Nora's feet like a furry carpet. Nate seems to give up with a sigh, and while I'm totally unprepared for it, takes me in for a hug. It feels good. I missed his smell like crazy. So good, actually, I'm almost crying. I answer his hug, unable to hold myself back. My wolf is breathing again, too, soothed. How does it feel we're closer now? Is it because I'm carrying his baby? Or because we missed each other too much? His whole body against mine is calming me down. Behind Nate, Nora is giving me a faint smile, and the other people in the room are either observing us with a hint of curiosity or total disinterest. All right, shall we get started, Miss Nora? Asks Neil. Nathaniel and I part, though he holds my hand a bit longer. Nora walks up to me, looking a bit worried, biting her lip. Elena. I'm not sure how strong my inner voice will be. Can you help me out? A bit. I nod. Yeah, sure. Don't worry, Nora, you're already way better than I am. Just take a deep breath, relax and you'll do great. Okay. Nora takes several deep breaths, exchanging looks with me, channeling her inner wolf. Is it me or are her eyes shining stronger than usual? I sit up on the couch and wait for it. Nate hesitates before slowly walking to stand behind me. I hear her message, bright and clear, in my head. To me, it's like a clear voice. But as I observe in the room, only the Black brothers are fine. Neil, Tanya, and Boyan are making faces, probably a bit overwhelmed by her aura. As discussed, Nora lays out her plan. She explains who she is, and I actually learn for the first time she was born in the Gold Moon clan. Nora's in a unique position, though. Born in the Gold Moon clan, raised by the Jade Moon, mated to the Blood Moon Alpha, and yet, her true roots belong to the Sapphire Moon clan. And there's me, her cousin, from the White Moon pack. The biggest surprise is her heritage as a royal, though. She only says a few words about this, but I know she doesn't want to make a big deal out of it. It would only have people freak out. Yet, her dominant voice in our heads leaves no doubt. Hence, they have no choice but to listen to her warning. Her warning about the Dark Witch that will target Silver City, and finally, how the packs need to work all together. It's a crazy idea. I know Nora's a believer, but when she gives out the time and place for a meeting in 3 days, I'm really wondering who will dare to show up. It's not just about her being a royal, or the attack coming. Most clans, though they won't admit it, are crazy scared about the Blood Moon. To Nora and I, the Black Brothers are just lovers, but to everyone else, they are cold-blooded killers, crazy strong alphas werewolves. At least, having a Luna of her background next to Damian Black might draw a few curious people in. Nora exhales, and opens her eyes. Good job, girl. You did great, Nora, says her mate with that gentle expression he only has for her. I have to admit, I didn't think you could really reach all of us, but I guess this headache is my retribution for doubting you, growls Boyan's older brother. Nora chuckles with a bit of an apologetic expression. She is so cute. No wonder everyone loves her. I wonder how we got to be so different when our parents were twins. Though, she frowns soon enough and looks down, holding her head. I can almost feel it. Everyone who heard her voice is responding, using the mind link back, submerging her. Nora, are you okay? Asks the king. Sorry. It's my head, he rubs her shoulder, while Nora is struggling to clear the voices out. It's funny, I can feel them as if I have a little window in her head. She finally lets a few in, exchanging with some alphas unknown to me. I hope people are responding positively. Everyone in the room is holding their breaths, waiting for her. After a while, she nods and turns to us. The Sapphire Moon and Sea Moon clans are coming. The Jade Moon, too. I don't know yet about the others, it was a bit confusing, it's already a good start, though. With the Blood Moon clan in as well, it means already 2 of the biggest packs are interested. It's huge. We expect this, says Neilmura, but this is how it always works between werewolves anyway, Miss Nora. No matter what happens, you did what you had to. We know how risky this is. Don't worry, baby girl. It's going to be okay. Even if only a few packs show up, it's plenty enough, okay? We just need to open up a dialogue, adds his sister. Nora looks a bit uneasy, but I agree with the betas. Nora's done great, especially since she was reaching out to mind link so many people for the first time. Anyway, we need to get ready for what is coming. 3 days is a very, very short time to get everything ready. Securing the stadium, informing the human police and preparing the lieutenants won't be an easy job. Looks like the Blood Moon's beta is already in work mode. He starts making calls, giving orders, and everyone in the room moves. The king is talking to Tanya, and Boyan goes to Nora, who's sitting facing me. I'm not sure what I'm supposed to be doing. I wait a bit and get up, but the king leaves the room with Tanya and Nora, and goes to another room. I'm left alone with Boyan, still in his wolf form, and Nathaniel. Nate walks up to me in a hurry. Elena. I've missed you. How are you? He asks, looking worried. His hand already on my neck, and the other grabbing mine, we're so close. I need to catch my breath for a second and nod a bit awkwardly. I'm fine. Why is it so hard to talk now that he's here, he's facing me, so close, so real? What was I expecting? Nate's right in front of me, but those words are stuck in my throat, while I'm just trying to breathe normally. It's been so long already. I don't even know where to start. I can't just drop the bomb like that. Where is our relationship at, anyway? Talk to me. He's getting impatient, but I just keep avoiding his eyes and trying to come up with something. Elena, I can't go on like this. I told you, I'm fine, Nate. Stop asking, please. Can't you give me a second to think, to find what I'll say to you? I don't believe you. You've been avoiding me for days, I can't take it. Do you think I haven't noticed? You're pale, you lost weight. Elena, are you sick? What? Oh gosh, why does he have to be so observant about this kind of thing? I barely lost a couple of pounds. Guess what? Your daughter only likes freaking pizza and lemon tea. No, I'm not, I swear, Nate. I'm fine, okay? I really am. Then why? I'll tell you later, okay? I just say, shaking my head. Later? What later? Elena. When? When your brother and half of your pack's leaders are not freaking next door, for a start. I'm not ready, for Moon Goddess' sake. After the pack's meeting, once it's over, we can talk, I stutter. I promise. But not now. It's not the right time, with everything that is going on. Nate, please. He keeps staring, and Moon Goddess, he does look worried. Well, guess what? I'm freaking out too, and scared like I've never been scared before. I'd rather fight 1,000 vampires than tell Nate the truth right now. It's so scary. I'm doubting his response, how he'll react, what he'll say, what he'll do. I don't know, it's like a void scaring out of me. Okay, but you have to stop avoiding me, please. I miss you. I take a deep breath. There's so much in those 3 words. I missed you too, I confess in a whisper. I see Bobo leave the room in silence, giving us some space, but right when my eyes are back on Nate, he grabs me in for a passionate kiss. Oh Moon Goddess, this feels so good. I don't even resist and respond right away, grabbing his shirt, his hair, any part of him I can claim. I want him. I've missed him, oh, so bad. We keep going, kissing each other, our lips and tongues going crazy, my skin burning under his touch, my blood rushing. I want more. It tastes sweet and addicting. His hands glide on my skin, under my shirt, on my neck. I shiver a bit. I had almost forgotten how his hands feel. I feel my desire arose, like ash burning underneath the long-extinguished fire. A small, shy flame, as the kiss keeps going. It's Nate, my man. Mine. The only one I want to allow on me, the only one that can touch me. My wolf softly growls. Nate. Nate, wait, he keeps going. He doesn't want to stop. Frankly? Me neither. I just want more of his lips, more of his skin and smell on me. It's driving me crazy. My wolf growls again. We are in his brother's apartment, Nate, stop. This time, I put my hands on his chest, pushing him away, taking a deep breath in. Elena. Give me a second. I have something I really need to tell you. He raises an eyebrow, a bit surprised. Well, that's a first. Everything okay? No. I mean, yes, but… Moon Goddess, I take a step back, a deep breath, trying to think. How do you say it? How do you announce that kind of thing? What's the right word? Breathe, Elena, low blood pressure. Nate is staring at me, confused, a bit worried. He puts his hands on his hips, waiting. Nathaniel, I'm pregnant. There's a long silence. His expression is undecipherable, and he chuckles nervously. You're what? Pregnant. I am pregnant, Nate. It takes him a few more minutes to take it in, and his eyes wander mindlessly in the room. I have no idea what to expect. Honestly, I'm terrified. He doesn't seem happy, nor mad. He swallows his saliva, and turns to me, looking a bit off. Okay. How long? I'm in my 13 weeks now. I see, he's frowning, looking anywhere but my direction. Looking like he's confused. It's not what I was expecting. I don't know what to say, what to do, I stay there waiting. For Moon Goddess' sake, Nate, says something. Please. Who's the father? I stare at him, shocked. Is he kidding me? Are you kidding me? Of course, it's you seriously, Elena. What now? He doesn't believe me? Nate, you're the father. What now, you think I with anyone? I'm 13 weeks pregnant, we were together back in September. I'm almost crying, I'm so mad. I did think he would be surprised, not that he wouldn't believe me. He shakes his head. Elena, it can't be mine. Think again. I'm not accusing you, you think I don't know who I had S*X with? There's been no one but you since last June, Nathaniel. You can ask Daniel, I haven't been close to another man. Is it Levi's? I yell, exasperated beyond words. I didn't sleep with Levi, are you mad? What is wrong with you? Elena, I'm telling you, if you are really pregnant, this child cannot be mine. I am pregnant. I am pregnant, so pregnant I don't know what to do with myself. I grab the picture in my jacket and throws it at him, pissed. Look at that. This is your daughter and mine. There is no way she anyone else's but yours. But he doesn't even look at the picture, or me crying. He takes a deep breath in like he's trying to control himself, and I can feel his unsettled wolf too. What? It's like a nightmare. He's there, but he's just distancing himself from me, building a wall between us. I don't get it. I feel anger replacing the disappointment, and my wolf growls. What's wrong with you? I've been avoiding you, now you don't want to believe I'm pregnant? Is that it? Too much for you? Or you don't trust me? Is it because of your status, you can't have this happen? Elena, stop it. I know this child isn't mine, so just tell me whose it is. I don't even care at this point. I'm telling you, this child is yours. What is wrong with you? It can't be mine, Elena. He lets out a big sigh, before finally looking at me. I'm sterile, Elena. I stare at him, speechless for once. What the? I can't have children, he continues. I swear if there was 1 in a billion chance this child could be mine, trust me, I would gladly believe you. I would be thrilled if you were pregnant with my baby, Elena, I swear on the moon goddess. I wish it could be true. But here's the thing, it cannot possibly be mine. I'm sterile. 77. She's crying. She keeps crying, though I can tell she's trying hard to hold it in. Is Elena really pregnant? I don't even know what to answer. What are you saying? She asks, completely lost. Sterile. I nod. It's from many years ago. I lost that ability to have children because of my father. One day, he hit me. He always hit us, though most days Damien protected Liam and I. It couldn't always be the case, though. And, that one time, he hit me so hard in my stomach, I started bleeding. I bled a lot. Damien took me to the hospital, but they couldn't. I learned I wouldn't be able to have children no matter how much surgery I went under. There's nothing medicine can do for me, Elena, I'm sterile. I've been sterile since I was 15, she's listening to me, I can't tell if she believes me or not. It's the truth, though. It's the first time someone else knows about this. I take a deep breath. That's the real reason she didn't want me. My fated mate. She had a choice between her rich fiancé and a damaged teenager who could never have children. I can't blame her though. She did what anyone would have done to protect their own future. Especially for a she-wolf, who looks forward to having her own children. And now, Elena says she's pregnant, too. It's like a dagger piercing my heart. Who other than me did she have S*X with? I don't want to think she's lying, but there's no other explanation. I know I can't be the father no matter what. Nate. I look up at her, surprised by her sudden anger. You dare mention your ex now? Do you think I care? I don't give a what you think you can or can't do, I know what I'm saying. Those doctors were wrong, Nate. I am pregnant and no one else but you can be the father. I cannot be, Elena. Even if you are, I can't have children. At all. I have all of the files, my complete medical chart, back at my place, attesting why your child cannot be mine. If you want, I can show it to you. I don't give a st about your medical records. I've been trying to think for weeks on how to tell you, and now, this? Nate, this child is my miracle. I didn't think I could have children either. I had a miscarriage, but your chances after a miscarriage aren't down to 0, Elena. Mine's are. I'll try to be happy for you that you got pregnant again, but don't say I'm the dad. I cannot be. My voice sounds harsh and cold. But it's nothing compared to the ice bleeding in my heart right now. Just thinking that she's carrying another man's child. I want to vomit. I take a step back, but I stop when I see Elena's expression. This woman drives me nuts. She's crying so much, and all I can think is how I'm torn, between running to her or running away from her. What a mess we are. Elena. Nate, shut up. It's her turn to be as cold as ice. She puts her arms around her and steps back, as if she was shielding herself from me. Shielding her child. She takes a deep breath in, trying to calm herself down. I don't. You know what? Never mind. I don't need you. Elena, you don't want to hear the truth, fine. I'll do it on my own. I'm not leaving you, Elena. You're the one who's not listening, this child, Nathaniel, I never slept with anyone else but you for almost a year. This baby was conceived 13 weeks ago, and as far as I'm concerned, I'm pretty sure I'm not able to conceive on my own. I take a deep breath. Elena seems so sure I'm the father of her child. But it just cannot be. So, who did she sleep with and why won't she admit it? Was it really her best friend's brother? I keep imagining things I don't want to. It's driving me crazy. I want to get out of there. Or erase the 5 last minutes of this conversation and start all over again. I know I lied. Well, I didn't lie. I never brought myself to tell her I couldn't have children. I stayed quiet when she talked about protecting ourselves, condoms, taking the pill. I wasn't going to bring up me being sterile with what should have been a one-night stand. I could have done so later, but as we kept seeing each other, I fell more and more in love and afraid. Afraid that story would repeat itself if Elena knew I couldn't give her children. Elena, I really wanted to what? Believe me? Believe whatever you want, Nate. I'm tired of lies. I came here to tell you this, now I've done my share. You do whatever you want with it. What do you mean? You heard me. I've told you, now whatever you want to believe is up to you. I'll have this child, with you as his dad or not. I don't give a about your story of being sterile or not. It's your problem now. She grabs her jacket, and before I can say another word, she's gone. I stay there, speechless. What just happened? I can't believe it. Elena is pregnant. Pregnant. She said 13 weeks. I fall back on the couch, completely lost. This is a nightmare. For the first time in years, I feel like crying, my heart about to crumble. I stay alone for a long time, trying to think about what went wrong. Why? Just why did she do that? Going to another man, then trying to have me think it's mine? Maybe it would have been easier if she admitted to her lie. Or even if she had made a mistake. If she had a one-time thing with another. Maybe I could have even forgiven her. Yet, why can't I keep thinking Elena didn't? Some part of my mind is stuck. Stuck with this certainty that Elena didn't lie. That she wouldn't do that to me. To us. I stay a long moment alone, unable to think of what to do next. I don't want to lose Elena. I feel like my heart left with her, and I'm so numb right now. If this wasn't Damien's place, I'd drink. But they are all next door, and I don't want them to see me drinking in the middle of the day. Nate. Damien walks in, frowning. He closes the door behind him. Thank Moon Goddess Nora isn't there, or anyone else. I don't feel like seeing anyone but my brother right now. What happened? I shake my head. Sorry, I don't feel like talking right now, Damien. Elena left. I nod. I don't even want to explain, but I know my brother Damien won't ask further. I hear him sigh next to me. What do you want to do? I don't know. Damien, I want her back. I haven't loved anyone like this since Kate. I nod silently. To be honest, I know one was my fated mate, and our feelings were almost programmed. However, with Elena, there was nothing simple, nothing written. It just happened, like a waterfall of feelings that overtook me. The more I saw her, the more I wanted, the deeper I fell for her. I take a deep breath, trying hard to hold it all in. I don't know what to do, I confess. Well, give yourself some time, Nate. For her too. If you're like me, a couple of days apart might help. A couple of days? It already feels like I've been away from Elena for so long. I just wish this was all a nightmare, and I would be back to those long days of summer, when we only had to worry about hiding our relationship, making love and having fun together. Damien puts a hand on my shoulder. Nate, we'll be busy for a few days. I'll need your help for Nora's plan, Nora's plan. Suddenly, I realize it all. The gathering, the clans, the Dark WH. And the O Pale Moon clan's betrayal. What will become of Elena? She warned us about her pack's moves, she will be thrown in the middle of all this. What if she needs my help? I can't. I get up. Damien. Let me watch the North clans. What? I know how selfish that is. But I know I won't be able to do any good if I stay here. I'll be good for nothing, just keeping those questions in my mind and wondering, again and again, about Elena. I don't want our people to see me like this. Not even Nora, Liam, or Neil. Damien's seen me like this before, he's picked me back up. He knows how low I can go. Fine. But stay where I can reach you. I have enough of one runaway brother, why are you leaving him with the Sapphire Moon clan? I ask. I have a feeling Liam might be working on his own. He's a bit surprising sometimes. And it's time I acknowledge you two can be adults. That's surprising, coming from Damien. Before, he was the overprotective brother, the one to shield us no matter what. Is it because Nora's been more independent, he's giving us more faith too? I drop by my place to take a shower, but I leave as soon as I can, taking my wolf form to run to the border. It's been a while since I shape-shifted. It's nice. I keep running until I reach the wolves of the White Moon clan, the ones guarding the border. They growl at me, warning me to stay off their grounds. I growl back. Don't you disrespect me. I wander around, close to Elena's place. Not too close, though. I want to know what's going on with their alpha, and about Elena. But I can't cross that border. Not yet. More of their wolves gather to watch me, wary of my presence. But I sit there, waiting. They don't interest me in the slightest. I only move to watch who comes in and out. No one from the Gold Moon clan, though. The next day, at dawn, another wolf comes. An alpha. I growl instinctively, but I don't recognize her. Who's this? She looks older, and the other wolves act differently around her. She keeps growling at me and actually steps out of her border, walking my direction with that warning stance. Since when do they have an alpha woman? Who is that? She's older than the alphas we know. Go away, Black. I growl. She can mind link me? Another royal? Again? How can you? Omega thing. Now go. I'm annoyed with your mutt face. Leave and forget Elena, Black. I have enough of one stalker to watch. What? How much does that woman know? Who is she? One stalker? Who? Diego? That dog is stalking Elena again? HMPF. Looks like you're not totally useless after all. Why is he after her? Is he the baby's? How about you shut up before rotting your mouth with such idiocy? You think I'd let that scum near her? I instinctively growl. So he's still around. And after her. Let me get him. What? Her growling tones down. I step closer. I'll get rid of him. I'll help you protect Elena. Why would I trust you, when you abandoned her? How much does that woman know exactly? Who are you? Shut up, Kid. I'm the one asking questions. You think I'll trust you after all you've done to her? You better stay away from Elena, and from that pack at all. I'll deal with Diego myself. She growls even louder at me, warning me to stay back. Stubborn old woman. Who is she anyway? What's her link to Elena? She runs off, leaving me again with those others from the White Moon watching me. Nate. Damien? Everything fine? Not exactly. My brother and I mind link for a while, but there isn't much to say. Our brother Liam is still moon goddess knows where, absent and ignoring our attempts to mind link him, and our clan is preparing for the big meeting in 2 days. I have faith in Nora, but I don't trust the other packs. Especially with Elena's revelations about her own pack. Will the White Moon betray the Sapphire Moon? Or will only the Opale Moon betray the White Moon? I'm restless and annoyed to not be able to do anything meanwhile. Damien. I need to ask you something. A favor. What? You've never asked for anything before. I need to cross the border. Which? You know which. He stays silent for a while. Nate, you can't do that. Not now. I know the timing is bad, but… Nathaniel. I can't help but growl, frustrated. My brother took his king's voice. I know I'm being too reckless, but… I can't endure it. Knowing Elena is behind that border, Nathaniel, it's an order. Do not cross that border. I growl at him, but I can't disobey my older brother. Fine. I stay a long while there, waiting. I'm hoping that scum will show up, so I can tear him apart. My brother and I have a strange relationship with death. We've lived with it, we've seen it. We've done that. I can kill a wolf or a man without blinking. I knew what death was before I could know about love. I knew about death that protects someone. When Damien killed our father, I was there. I witnessed it, and the void that came after. It wasn't relief, just a nightmare that came to an end. The man who had abused us for years was dead and gone. What was Elena feeling when she tried to kill her ex? She went to jail for that. She was a victim, yet she took a double sentence, while she is still alive and around. That is enough. Suddenly, the next day, I notice someone else is coming, in his human form. I recognize him from afar. Her friend Daniel. He comes up, and he must have said something to the others because all the wolves that were there leave. What does he want? He's not alone, another male wolf is right behind him. Is that his brother? I instinctively growl, and Daniel hesitates. A bit afraid. I forgot he's a normal wolf. Reagan said you've been here for a while. Are you waiting for Elena? Because she's not coming. She doesn't know you're there, and honestly, I don't want her to. You broke her heart, Black, and that was one too many times. I wanted to root for you, but you messed up. I growl, but he doesn't flinch. I'm not afraid of you. She's my best friend, you know. There are many things I can do for her, even standing up to an alpha for her. I have to give that to him, he's brave. So what is he doing here now if he doesn't want me near her? I want to check. What is he talking about? He crosses his arm, adjusting his glasses. Elena mentioned your issue. I want to check. I am a biology student, so I can understand this kind of thing. You want to prove you didn't lie? Show it to me. Your medical file. Is he kidding me? Why do I have to justify myself to him? Elena has to be the one who lied, not me. Listen, Black, I know my best friend. She wouldn't lie. She is an adopted child, too, and it's bothered her for her whole life, actually. There is no way she would lie about her baby's biological father. So, either you lied, or you were healed and unaware. He's really annoying. I hate that he somehow has more faith in Elena than I do. Why is he so sure? But he's indeed her best friend, and flatmate. He would know if she lied. So why? And why is his brother here anyway? Does he think the kid may be his, too? I take a deep sigh and decide to shapeshift back into my human form. Daniel immediately blushes and looks away. Moon Goddess, you could warn people before doing that. He stutters. I don't have time for this. Fine. I'll give my medical file to you, if you can keep it a secret. Of course I can. Who do you? In exchange, I want Diego. He freezes, looking at me completely speechless. You? Excuse me? You want what? Give me Diego. I cannot cross your border, and as long as he's on your side, I cannot do anything to him. But if he just steps one paw here, Daniel seems to hesitate for a second, looking for what to say, totally surprised by my demand. But before he can formulate an answer, his brother suddenly shapeshifts too. We will give him to you, says Levi. Oh, great, now you're both naked, sighs Daniel. I just want to be sure what you'll do once you, I smirk. Oh, I'll kill him. Deal. 78. Where have you been? Daniel just got back from Moon Goddess knows where, and shrugs. I went to talk with Levi. He was patrolling at the border. I frown. Since when is Levi patrolling at the border? Oh, well, I don't really care. I finish putting on my jeans and some sweater in front of a confused Daniel. You're going somewhere? To my uncle. If he's about to do something stupid, it's my duty to stop him. Don't you think you, what? Stay at home, keep crying? That's right. I'm a mess, my eyes are all red and puffy and I'm dead tired because I haven't slept a wink. I cried so much, my head hurts and I feel sick. What happened with Nathaniel was beyond anything I had imagined. It might have been easier if he had just rejected me, but no, he doesn't even think this is his baby. What? I know who and I couldn't care less about this sterility issue. Not only am I mad at him for hiding it, but I'm also disappointed he doubted me too. However, I'm done crying. I'm done with everyone keeping me aside, telling me to stay put and not say things. I need to set things straight. I am not the kind to not do anything, no. I grab my coat, and Danny follows me, still worried. Babe, shouldn't you talk to Clark first? I will, and convince him to show up to Nora's gathering too. As of now, I am still part of this clan, and I'll do what I can. To help the White Moon. To protect my daughter, Danny. If Nora's plan to rally all the clans is a success, my baby will have better chances. Silver City has never seen all of its packs united as one before, or a witch like Sylviana standing alongside them. I don't know about this dark WH, but I want to believe that Nora has the right solution. I don't really care if I'm banned from the White Moon or not, honestly. It's getting bigger than me or a couple of packs, Danny. He slowly nods, and grabs his jacket. I hate when you're right about stuff like that. But you're still right. Let's go talk some sense into those stupid men. We just take our jackets and walk out. Wandering in the streets of our turf has a different feel to me now. Something's changed. Not only inside my heart, but in the way our people look at me. I can feel it as I walk by. Do they know already? Or do they still wonder if I'm really pregnant, who the father could be? They probably have suspicions. I don't really care, though. Strangely, a big weight was lifted off my shoulders since I told the truth to Clark, and to Nate. Even if things didn't turn out well, I'm relieved about not having to lie anymore. We arrive at the main house when Clark, Isabella, and other important leaders of our pack are actually discussing Nora's invite. You saw her. Like me, Clark, says Isa. And if she really is a royal, she may be right, why should we accept to cooperate with the Blood Moon? Says Brant, a young fighter. I don't care much about the new Luna, why do we have to listen to their whim? When I walk in, Clark, who was supposed to answer, shuts up. A couple of them growl softly, warning me I'm not welcome here. They don't worry me much, though. I ignore them to turn to my alpha. Please go. What? What if Nora is right? I add. She's a royal, and some menace is coming. You were there, Clark, at the vampire's attack. You, Elena, get out. You don't have a right to speak here, you lost that right when, silence. I'm growling for real, and Brant is taken aback by my sudden use of my alpha aura. That's right. If you want to get me out, you'll have to think twice. Let's see who should shut up. I turn to my godfather again. The only person I'll submit to in this room. Not because I'm the lesser wolf, but out of respect for him. Clark is obviously unhappy to see me here, but he won't be as mean as to kick me out. He crosses his arms, conflicted. Elena, what is your point? I'm close to Nora, Clark. I know she thinks what she says, and I believe her too. In any case, the White Moon should go. I'm sure the Sapphire Moon will be there too. The Sapphire Moon, says Isabella. Why would they go? They hate the Blood Moon the most. They will because of Nora Blue Moon, I explain. She's a royal, and that's one thing the Sapphire Moon respects most. They may hate the Black Brothers, but it's not the Blood Moon or Sapphire Moon this is about. They all exchange glances. If they had doubts about coming, the Sapphire Moon clan going should be a strong reason for us to go. Clark will always observe what the Sapphire Moon will do, just because of our old alliance with them. If Nora is so sure they will answer her call, then... This is so strange. That girl came out of nowhere and now she's a royal? And Black's mate, says an elder, doubtful. Until now, we thought the royals were extinct. What if this is all the Blood Moon's schemes? What about our people who died, then? I reply back, angry. You think the Blood Moon was behind the vampire attack, too? Even if there's a chance they are wrong, if we can have any clue as to why they died, we owe our deceased to go. Isabella looks at me with endless sorrow in her eyes. She was Eric's mom. She's probably the one who most wants answers and deserves them. She slowly nods and turns to Clark. Clark, I think Elena's right. To be honest, I don't care much about our feud with the Blood Moon clan. They showed up when we needed help. The Sapphire Moon didn't. She's referring to the vampire attack when the king and Nate came to our territory with their people to help us out. Isabella's right. No wolf from the Sapphire Moon was spotted that night, but if it wasn't for the Blood Moon clan showing up, we might have experienced much worse. One of the elders gives me a glance before turning to Clark too. The king has changed recently. Maybe for the better. He's breaking all ties to the Gold Moon and looking back, we never had any bad encounters with them. We even welcomed them here recently for the first time. Clark turns his eyes to me. I know he's thinking about Nathaniel and my relationship with him. He sighs. Leave me alone with my Elena for a minute. Brandt and a couple of others growl. Alpha, she is not, as far as I'm concerned, she's still my goddaughter, and I'm still your alpha. Now get out. They eventually obeyed, though they glared and growled at me on the way out. I ignored them. Petty pack fights are the least of my concerns at the moment. Only Clark, Isa, Daniel, and I are left in the room. I turn to my godfather, feeling a bit bad about this. Sorry, you have to fight them about me, it's not just about you, Elena, sighs Isabella. Those kids are getting anyway. Reagan told me you two talked, says Clark. I nod, but honestly, I don't want to go back on this. My godfather already knows everything he needs to, and there is no reason to involve him any more than he already is in this mess. Yeah, but that's another topic. Clark, I'm concerned about the Pale Moon. Don't let Xavier attend the meeting. Clark and Isabella exchange a glance, surprised. What about Xavier? We witnessed him with the Gold Moon Alpha, 2 days ago, at the border. We couldn't hear everything, adds Daniel. But it really didn't sound like they were disagreeing. My godfather stays doubtful, crossing his arms. Are you sure it was Xavier and Taron King? We have no business with the Gold Moon, and nobody reported such a meeting. Positive, we answer together. My godfather stays silent a moment, frowning and thinking. What now? He cannot confront Xavier on our accusations alone, I guess, but it would be dangerous to have him come to the meeting as well. My godfather sighs and turns to me. Elena, you stop him. I know you cannot fight in your condition, but as an alpha, you have enough authority to stop your uncle without that. I know Iris and Chris will support you, too. Let him know I don't want him to come tomorrow, and you are there to say that. Won't he say I don't have authority anymore? I ask, flustered. So far, nothing has been decided, explains Isabella. To everyone, you're still part of the pack, pending Clark's decision. They don't know about your child's father either. Does that mean you'll go, Clark? I ask my godfather. He hesitates for a second, exchanging a glance with Isabella, but his beta is already agreeing with me. He nods. Yeah. As you said, we owe them one, and I want to know if this witch theory is real. We haven't seen one in ages, but our pack is one of the oldest of Silver City. We know there used to be WHES in the area. I bet he would be in for a surprise if he met Sylviana. Moreover, if the Sapphire Moon clan goes too as you say, I do not want to miss that. I just don't have the Black Brothers in high esteem. Especially now. Especially now that one got me pregnant, he means. Gosh, baby, you're really complicating a lot of things around here. At least I convinced Clark not to go, and I get to deal with Xavier myself. Elena. He calls me when I'm about to leave. What is it? You still haven't changed your mind, have you? I think for a second. Have I? I know Clark could turn a blind eye if I changed my mind and agreed to keep my baby's biological father a secret, but... No. Sorry. Don't be sorry. I nod and leave behind Daniel. I'm not going to lie. Whether Nathaniel believes me or not won't change anything, he is this baby's father. If I go back now, it will be like I lied this entire time, or I'm really confused about who I had this child with, and I'm not. We rush to my uncle's house, following other people's indication as to where he is currently. I take deep breaths. This definitely won't be easy. I have to confront my uncle without getting into a fight with him, and persuade him, or keep him from going to the gathering. Isn't Clark overestimating me? I decide to mind-link my cousins to explain the situation on the way. Both Iris and Chris are shocked to hear what their father did. Iris is a bit more doubtful than her brother, but I expected so, she's always respected her father more. We agree to meet up at his house, as Iris is driving from the clinic to join us, and Chris is almost there. When both arrive, it's the evening already. Chris walks up to me, but despite his smile, my heart breaks upon the sight of his missing arm. I can't believe those vampires did that. He was such a strong fighter. Now everything from his shoulder down has disappeared, they cut it off after it became obvious the vampire's venom had filled his whole arm. Yet, Chris is about the same as before. He runs up to me and gives me a hug. I missed you, Elena. I'm so glad you're okay, thanks, Chris. I'm sorry I couldn't see you earlier. Hey, no big deal. Seriously, they gave me so many drugs I couldn't remember my own name for 2 weeks, let alone know who visited me. It takes forever to get vampire venom out of our system, did you know that? Moreover, you had a good reason, didn't you? He asks while pointing at my tummy, making me blush. Chris, people talk, you know. I can't believe you're having a baby. Is it a boy? A girl? I'm sure my sister knows, but Iris stayed quiet as a stone. Because I cannot trust you to shut your mouth about it. His sister just arrived, and rolls her eyes before walking up to us, a bit awkward. Sorry I'm late, work at the clinic is a nightmare these days. Elena, are you sure about father? I can't believe he would do that, Iris, I'm sorry. You'll see when we talk to him. She sighs and nods, stepping into her house first. Dad. Iris? What are you? Chris too? And, her father, who stepped out to greet them, suddenly sees me and Daniel. His face immediately goes red. What are you doing here? How dare you? Enough, Dad! Says Chris. Elena is our cousin, she has every right to be here. Moreover, we have things to discuss. Seriously. But his father won't stop glaring at me, pointing out his index, furious. If you dare to ask for any support for you little bastard, shut up. I yell, annoyed. You leave my child out of this, Xavier, and be sure you're the last person I would ask for anything. I came here because I want to know what you're planning to do with the gold moon. His anger melts like snow in the sun when he hears those last words. He goes white as a sheet, stepping back. Wah! How did you? We caught you at the border, says Daniel. Discussing with them. Xavier shakes his head. I wasn't discussing, I was chasing them out. Out of our territory. You don't know anything. You're telling me you were chasing Taran King out? You? I ask, not believing one word of his. Come on, Xavier, we know who we saw, and you certainly don't have what it takes to chase another alpha. I don't owe anything to you, Elena. You can't give me orders and you can't tell me what to do or not. You're about to get banished from the pack, and now you think you can give orders? Hey! I am not banished yet, and you have some explaining to do before I do. Clark sent me here. If you are not willing to answer to me, you'll have to answer to him, Xavier, so spill it now. Dad, what were you doing? With the gold moon, no less. Insists Chris, Annoyed. Seeing his son questions him too seems to take my uncle by surprise. His eyes go on Chris, then Iris, then going back to me again. Answer me, I insist, using my alpha aura. My wolf starts to growl, threatening. I may not be able to fight, but I can still make him obey. Even if there are only a few drops of royal blood in my veins, it should be enough to have someone like Xavier comply. Elena, enough, says Iris, vexed. You can't order my father like that, it's disrespect to your alpha. Maybe it's time for a change of alpha, I say, annoyed. Elena. My cousin looks at me, furious. But Chris is still glaring in his father's way, disappointed. Dad, please, answer Elena's questions. You can't risk all of the Pale Moon clan because of your selfishness. What did Taran King say to you? Xavier hesitates for a while, looking at me and his children. He avoids our eyes, looking down. He only wanted to discuss things. I never agreed to a real alliance. I just was intrigued. He said he could put more money into Iris Clinic, and make sure this would stay within the Pale Moon clan. He was saying the White Moon is underestimating me, but if I joined him, he could, if you joined him. Father, how dare you even think of allying yourself with those sharks? Yells Iris, furious. I can't believe you even thought of taking any actions for my clinic without even telling me. She's the one most disappointed at her father, and for right reasons. I can't believe Xavier would be so greedy as to do such a thing or even consider it. Xavier, I want you to step down of your position as alpha. Everyone suddenly turns to me, shocked. But I'm using all of my alpha aura, and I've had enough. Elena, what are you? Mutters Iris, shocked. I say, step down. You are not worthy to be anyone's alpha, actually. The Pale Moon deserves better, and you know it. You can't force me, says Xavier, growling. I can. I take deep breaths as Nora did, and use my inner strength to oppose him. We are a few steps away from each other, but he's already struggling to face my aura. He always knew I was stronger. He only pretended not to. I guess now is the time, probably the last time, I use my alpha aura to do things right for this pack. Chris looks at me, uncertainty. Elena, you mean to? I'm not competing for the Pale Moon Alpha. I am only doing what's right for this pack. If no one can lead it properly, maybe the Pale Moon has lost its reason for existing. I am not worthy to be an alpha for this pack, my priorities are elsewhere now. But I would rather give the ownership back to Clark than see my uncle put anyone in danger because of his greed. Both siblings exchange glances at that moment, but I can tell they are mind-linking as well, thinking deeply about this situation. Chris, Iris. You can't allow her to do that. Actually, father, we can, says Chris. And Elena is right. You've put us in danger one too many times. The Gold Moon clan? Really? Says Iris, still looking unsure. How dare you? Both of you! Yells their father, outraged. Enough, Xavier, I say, stepping forward. You give up. Now. Join our Facebook and WhatsApp group for more updates, link is given in description, rest audio book will be continued in next episode.